I was a corporal in the Army. That's basically that's what it was, to protect the South Korean people while we were there.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were you drafted or did you
I was
enlist?
drafted.
Were you drafted, do you remember?
It was in 1950 and 1951. I can't give you exact figures.
And when you were drafted, where were you living at the time?
It was my mother and father in Louisville on Griffith Avenue.
Okay. And were you working or had you just
Yeah,
finished?
well, when I worked with for my father at Ben Snyder Department Store in Louisville. And when I come back from Korea, of course, it was still there, and I went back into there and worked until I left to go to Kroger, the Kroger company.
Do you recall your first day in the Army?
I was waiting to get on a train at 8th and Broadway. That's where we were supposed to meet to get on that train. My mother and Dad was there with us to see me leave, and we had to go to Seattle, Washington. The train was going to take us all the way to Seattle, Washington that morning. We had been supposed to be in there at 8 o'clock, and I think it was about 11 or 12 before we finally got on the train and left.
How did you feel the first day?
I just thought it was going to be a big deal, going somewhere. I even got home before Sonny did. Sonny and them, my brother Sonny, he was in there over there at the same time, but he was in the 24th Infantry Division, and he came over one day, him and a friend of his, in one of their vehicles, and I was out had to bring all them guys back with all that stuff, and somebody.
When you were in Korea?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we got back, the officer told me, he said that your brother's over there in the tent. You better go see him.
Did it feel to see your brother?
I remember glad to see him. Yeah, of course I hadn't seen him for some time. You see, and it was almost about time, getting close to time when I did have to leave too, and I didn't know for sure when he's going to come back. And
What was your job?
that was like where they had all that stuff, we'd go get it and bring it back, and then we would have people would come in from not people, but servicemen that needed equipment and stuff, and that's where I was for the whole time.
What kind of supplies were you getting for
Well, we had
people?
everything that you would need if you were in the Army, from a little bullet to a big truck or a big van. A little bit of everything we had.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we had to go. I might had to take 10 trucks with me on certain days. The big stuff to get, and they'd give me all the trucks I needed that I had something like that to do, and I'd take the guys out and I'd drop them off at the different places, and then we'd meet in a convoy later on when we all got through picking up what we had in the particular trucks we were in. And
you ever see a combat?
no, I wouldn't. The only thing we did get at one time was some. They were, I forget what they called the things, and it was a big bomb like that they would shoot over toward us, and of course we didn't have, at the time we were learning things then too. That's when we first went in there, and when they did, they told us, had us all get out on the ground because we didn't know how many more they was going to shoot at us that way. It was like a bomb, only it was coming on us straight, almost like a bullet out of a gun, but it was something about this long, about that big around, what they were shooting at us, right at us. And we waited and waited, and finally they quit, and then everything was all right, and we went on back to where we had right then we had little pup tents, they called them. That's what we slept in at nighttime, waited till they see what they was gonna do again. Then they finally got done,
Did you? How did people entertain themselves over there? Did you do things for fun?
and, well, it wasn't a whole lot of what you call entertainments. I mean, it might be once in a while somebody would pick up a guitar or something and play or sing a little bit, but then it wasn't too much, that, and you didn't really have time to do much, but be on your toes in case the bombs started coming.
Mm-hmm. Did they ever have any entertainers come over, singers or actors?
Yeah, and I was trying to think the other day about that, and I can't even remember that one guy's name. Bob Hope was over there one time while we were there, and we had to go a little distance to get to see him, but we did get. We were way back anyway. We could barely see him, but we did get to see him anyway.
Could you hear him?
Oh yeah, they had a something like this stuck up where they could, talk to the people and everything, and it loud enough that we could hear. Yeah, it was all right on that account. And I don't know, we had a couple times we had people like that in there, and of course 9 times out of 10 though I was back getting merchandise and everybody even missed it. Didn't get to see it if it was there.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or the military in general?
Well, not really, because it didn't really, it wasn't like a real war when we were in this, and there was things going on that had some things to do with that, but it still wasn't just like every day you walk out the door you're going to get shot and you might know it, and in a war type thing, and you just had to be very careful in the way we done it, and it was just the best way to do it. I mean, and without and I'm sure there was people hurt, in that type thing because of the way things working out in different places. I mean, where like they would shoot at us sometimes during the night, those big long things they had to shoot at nighttime, but it was hard for them to find you in the dark though, because we didn't have nothing, you didn't turn no lights on at nighttime anywhere, and but if you had your things set up where it's pretty well, they wouldn't hit it, when you're better off, and you'd learn real quick how to put your buildings up and everything that you needed and stuff like that, and where you didn't get hurt, and we did have a few times that it was in the area, but it didn't hit anything at all, but in the ground or a tree or something like that, which made it a whole lot better. I mean, if you were living there at the time. It wasn't too good, but it wasn't too bad either. So.
How did your military experience affect your life?
Well, it really didn't change anything. I mean, I just because I came back and went into the life I was in anyway. I was still working for the Ben Snyder family, and after I got back after so long, it's just like you'd never been there. You didn't even think too much about it, and the only thing was you was glad to leave when you left. You didn't want to stay too long, I'll tell you.